Most conversations about prostate health begin and end with size. Bigger. Smaller. Enlarged. Reduced. As if tissue volume alone were the decisive variable behind how the body feels and functions. That way of thinking is understandable. It's visible. It's measurable. It fits neatly into images and charts. But visibility has a way of distracting us from dynamics that don't show up as clearly. When something feels off in the body, the instinct is to look for what has grown, shifted, or hardened. Yet in many systems, electrical, biological, even atmospheric, dysfunction often appears long before structure changes in any obvious way. Flow degrades quietly. In electrical systems, you can have a conductor that looks intact, unchanged in shape, yet carries current poorly because the conditions around it have shifted. Resistance increases. Signal coherence drops. Energy no longer moves the way it used to. Biological systems are not so different. The prostate is not an empty cavity. It's dense tissue, rich in stroma, sensitive to pressure, oxygen, and signaling. Its behavior depends not only on how much space it occupies, but on how well blood, oxygen, and biochemical signals move through it. This is where the usual picture starts to crack. Two people can have similar prostate size, measured the same way, described with the same words, and yet experience completely different levels of discomfort, pressure, or disruption. If size were the main driver, that divergence would be hard to explain. Unless something else is changing. When circulation at the micro level becomes inefficient, cells don't fail dramatically. They adapt. They conserve. They shift into quieter modes that favor survival over performance. Nothing visibly collapses. But function becomes constrained. In that context, improvement doesn't necessarily require tissue to shrink. It may only require flow to become less obstructed, less fragmented, more coherent. Blood arriving more evenly. Oxygen exchange becoming less erratic. Local signaling regaining timing and rhythm. From the outside, little seems different. From the inside, the system behaves differently. This perspective doesn't contradict conventional models. It sits beneath them. Structure still matters. Hormones still matter. Nerves still matter. But flow determines whether those elements can express their roles effectively. When people talk about supporting prostate health at the circulation level, they're often pointing, consciously or not, to this deeper layer. Not to reshaping tissue, but to restoring movement. Not to forcing outcomes, but to removing constraints. The mistake is assuming that meaningful change must always be dramatic and visible. In many systems, the most important shifts happen quietly, upstream, long before anything looks different on the surface. Sometimes nothing shrinks. Nothing disappears. Nothing gets fixed in the way we expect. And yet the system functions differently, simply because what moves can finally move again. That's a harder idea to measure. But it's often closer to how complex systems actually behave.